Chosen one, stop. What I am about to share with you is time-sensitive, and I do not say that lightly. I do not believe in creating fear, but I do believe in telling the truth when it matters, and right now, it matters. March 17th, 18th, and 19th are not ordinary days, not for you. There is a principle the ancient texts call kairos, the appointed moment when everything that has been invisible suddenly becomes undeniable. It is the moment when preparation meets divine readiness. And every sign I have studied, every pattern I have traced, every confirmation that has come, they all converge on this 3-day window. You have already felt it. The restlessness, the strange urgency, the tears that came without reason. That tightness in your chest that tells you something is shifting beneath the surface of your life. Your spirit has been responding to what your mind has not yet understood. You did not stumble into this message. Something far greater than chance brought you here, and if you are hearing these words before or during these 3 days, you are standing in your own Esther moment. A window that will not repeat in the same way again. Stay with me. By the time we are done, you will understand not only what is happening, but exactly how to position yourself to receive it. Every word from this point forward matters. Do not leave early. And I want to be clear about what is ahead in this message, because I do not want you to miss any of it. In the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through exactly what each of these 3 days holds for you, one by one. You will learn what March 17th is asking you to recognize. You will understand the specific shift that March 18th is designed to create in your circumstances. And you will discover what March 19th seals over your life, and why the 3rd day always carries the deepest weight. But beyond all of that, there is a final revelation at the very end of this message, one that ties all 3 days together and changes the way you understand divine timing forever. If you leave before that moment, you will carry the pieces but miss the picture, so stay until the very last word. What waits at the end is worth everything it takes to get there. Now, let us begin with the first day, March 17th. And to understand what this day holds, I need to teach you something that most people have never been told. There are 2 kinds of time. The first is the kind you see on a clock. It moves forward. It does not care about your situation. Monday follows Sunday. March follows February. This is Chronos, ordinary time, and it treats everyone the same. But there is another kind of time, a kind that does not follow the clock, a kind that waits and gathers and builds in the unseen until one specific moment when everything that has been forming in secret suddenly breaks through into the visible. The ancient texts call this kairos, the fullness of time, the appointed moment. And here is what I need you to understand. Every major breakthrough recorded in sacred history happened inside a kairos window. Not randomly, not gradually, inside a specific, concentrated window of days. Esther had 3 days of fasting before she walked into the throne room and changed the fate of her entire people. Joshua had 7 days circling Jericho before the walls came down. Jesus himself spent 3 days in the tomb before the resurrection that shook the foundations of the earth. None of these were accidents of timing. They were kairos windows, moments when preparation reached its fullness and heaven opened what had been closed. Now, I am not a prophet. I want to say that clearly. But I have studied these patterns long enough to recognize when they converge. And everything I am seeing, in the signs, in the spiritual climate, in the stirring that so many of you have been feeling, it all points to this 3-day window, March 17th, 18th, and 19th. And it begins with recognition. March 17th is the day of recognition, not the day everything changes, not the day the miracle lands in your lap. It is the day you finally see what has been standing right beside you all along. Let me show you what I mean. There is a moment in the story of Moses that most people rush past. Moses was tending sheep in the wilderness. He had been there for 40 years. 40 years of silence. 40 years of ordinary days that all looked the same. And then one afternoon, a bush caught fire. But here is the part no one talks about. The text does not say, God set the bush on fire when Moses walked by. It says, Moses turned aside to look, and then God spoke. The bush may have been burning for hours, days, weeks. We do not know. What we know is that Moses made a choice. He stopped, he turned, he looked, and that single act of recognition changed the course of history. Chosen one, the bush has been burning in your life. It has been burning while you were distracted. It has been burning while you were exhausted. It has been burning while you told yourself nothing was happening. March 17th is the day you turn aside and look. And here is what I believe you will recognize when you do. Because many of you are already showing the signs, and you do not even realize it. You have been waking at unusual hours, 2, 3 in the morning, with a feeling in your chest that something is near, but you cannot name it. You have been having dreams about water, about doors, about keys, about rooms you have never seen. You have felt a sudden and unexplainable urge to forgive someone you thought you were done thinking about. Strangers have been saying things to you that land too close to be coincidence, words that echo exactly what you have been praying in private. You have lost interest in things that used to satisfy you, not because you are depressed, but because something inside you has already moved on to a frequency those things cannot reach. And there has been a pull towards stillness, towards silence, towards solitude, that your old self would have resisted but your spirit now craves. These are not random occurrences, these are recognition signs. Your spirit has already entered the Kairos window. Your body knows, your dreams know. The only thing that has not caught up is your conscious mind. And now it has, because you are here, and you are listening. And on March 17th, when you wake up, I want you to carry one thought with you through the entire day. The bush is burning. Today, I turn aside and look. Now, if this were all I had to share with you, if all you walked away with was the understanding that March 17th is a day to open your eyes and recognize what has already been present, that alone would be enough to shift the way you experience tomorrow. But chosen one, recognition, is only the first layer. What happens on the 18th is where the ground itself begins to move. March 18th is the day of displacement. And I need to explain what I mean by that. Because this is a concept that most people have never heard. And once you understand it, you will never look at your circumstances the same way. You have been trying to move yourself for months, maybe years, trying to push the door, trying to create the opportunity, trying to force the relationship, the breakthrough, the shift. And it has not worked. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because what is about to happen is not something you can engineer, it is something only God can rearrange. Divine displacement is when God moves the pieces around you, not when you move yourself into position, but when the position moves to you. The circumstances shift, the context changes, and suddenly what was impossible yesterday becomes inevitable today. Let me show you this in a life you already know. Joseph, sold by his brothers at 17, enslaved, falsely accused, imprisoned for 13 years. Nothing in his external world reflected what God had shown him in those dreams. 13 years of silence that looked exactly like abandonment. And then, in a single day, everything displaced. One morning he was in a prison cell. By that evening he was standing in the palace, wearing the ring of the second most powerful man in Egypt. Joseph did not promote himself. Joseph did not network his way out. The entire context of his life shifted around him in 24 hours. That is divine displacement. And that is what March 18th carries. You have been pushing, you have been striving, and what I am telling you is this. On March 18th, your assignment is not to push harder. Your assignment is to open your hands and let God rearrange what only God can rearrange. And there is something I want you to do. Not with your body, but with your spirit. Wherever you are right now, whether you are lying in bed or sitting in your car or walking through your house, I want you to take one slow breath, just one. And as you breathe in, I want you to think of one area of your life where you have been gripping, controlling, trying to force an outcome. See it clearly. Hold it in your mind. And as you breathe out, silently say these words: I release my grip. I trust the displacement. One more time. Breathe in. See the area of control. Breathe out. I release my grip. I trust the displacement. That is your practice for March 18th. Not a to-do list, not a strategy session, a posture of open hands. Because what God is about to move cannot be moved by human force, and what God is about to open cannot be opened by human effort. But I need to warn you about two things that will try to steal this from you. The first is doubt. Doubt will whisper to you on the morning of March 18th and say, nothing is going to change. This is just another day. You have heard promises before. And I want you to know, I understand why that voice exists. It is not your enemy. It is your survival system trying to protect you from disappointment. But survival mode and receiving mode cannot exist in the same body at the same time. On March 18th, you must choose which one you will operate from. The second is impatience. Impatience will tell you to force it, to make the call, to send the message, to create the opportunity yourself. And sometimes action is right. But in a Kairos window, the action is not yours to take. The action belongs to the one who moves the pieces. Your role is to remain in position and trust that what is being displaced for your good. Doubt and impatience. These are not moral failures, they are human. But on March 18th, they are the two thieves that will try to rob you of what has been prepared. Now, chosen one, before I take you into what March 19th holds, and believe me when I tell you that the third day is where everything converges, I want to pause for one moment. This space where you and I meet, where these teachings reach you at the exact moment you need them, it exists because this community keeps it alive. Every message, every word, every hour spent preparing what you are hearing right now, it continues because chosen ones like you choose to keep it going. If this message has stirred something in you and your spirit moves you to act, there is a link in the description below where you can plant a seed to keep these teachings reaching the ones who have not found them yet. Think of it not as a donation but as a spiritual offering, sowing into the field that fed you tonight, so that the next chosen one, the one who is searching in the dark right now, will find this message at their own appointed moment. No obligation, only if you are called. Now, March 19th, the third day, and chosen one, if you know anything about sacred history, you know this. The third day is always where God finishes what he started. There is a pattern hidden in the pages of sacred history, and once you see it, you will never unsee it. The third day is always the day of confirmation. Jonah spent 3 days in the belly of the whale before he was released onto dry ground. The people of Israel were told to consecrate themselves for 3 days before God would descend on the mountain. And the most powerful example of all, Jesus was laid in the tomb on a Friday, and on the third day the stone rolled back and death itself was reversed. The third day is never random. It is the day when what was planted is harvested, when what was tested is proven, when what was buried comes back to life. And March 19th is your third day. March 17th opened your eyes. You recognized what had been burning beside you all along. March 18th moved the ground beneath your feet. The circumstances began to displace, to rearrange in ways you could not have manufactured. And now March 19th arrives to do what the third day always does. It confirms. Whatever God recognized in you on the 17th, and whatever God displaced for you on the 18th, the 19th, is the day heaven places a seal over it and says, "It is done. This one is mine. This assignment is confirmed. This door will not close." Now, I want to take you deeper into this, because there is a woman in the ancient texts whose story mirrors yours so precisely that I need you to hear it carefully. Esther was a young woman living in obscurity. She did not ask for the throne. She did not campaign for it. She was placed in a position of influence by forces she did not fully understand, and for a season, she simply existed inside that position without knowing why she was there. And then the crisis came. Her people faced destruction, and a message reached her that said, "Perhaps you were placed here for such a time as this." Esther called for a fast, 3 days, and on the third day she did something extraordinary. She put on her royal robes, not because she felt royal, not because the fear had left, not because she had a guarantee it would work. She put on the robes because it was the third day, and the third day is the day you stop waiting to feel ready and start walking in what is already true. Chosen one, on March 19th, you may not feel ready. The doubt may still be whispering. The old story may still be playing in the back of your mind. But March 19th is not asking you to feel ready. It is asking you to put on the robes. What does that mean in your real life? It means you stop apologizing for your calling. It means you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. It means you speak about your future as someone who has already been confirmed, not someone still begging for permission. And because I want this to be practical, not just poetic, let me give you something you can carry with you. When confirmation begins to show up on March 19th, and it may show up as a conversation, a door, a sudden clarity, a decision that finally feels clear, I want you to run it through 3 filters before you act. The first filter is alignment. Ask yourself, does this align with my deepest values, not just my desires? Because desire can be loud, but alignment is quiet. If it matches who you are at your core, pay attention. The second filter is peace. Not excitement, peace. Excitement fades in hours. Peace stays. If the confirmation carries a steadiness in your chest, a knowing that settles rather than spikes, that is a genuine marker. And the third filter is multiplied witness. Real confirmation rarely comes from one source alone. Look for the echo. The same message arriving from 2 different directions, a friend saying what you just prayed, a scripture landing on the exact verse you needed, a stranger speaking the word your spirit was waiting for. When confirmation is real, it comes in surround sound. Alignment, peace, multiplied witness. These are your 3 filters for March 19th. Now, chosen one, if I ended this message here, if all you carried away was the teaching of the 3 days and the tools to navigate each one, your life would already begin to shift. I believe that with everything in me. But there is one more truth, the deepest one, the one I have been building toward since the very beginning, and it is the truth that ties all 3 days together and reveals what this prophetic window is really about. Stay close, because what I am about to say will change the way you see not only these 3 dates, but every season you have ever walked through. Here it is, and I need you to hear this slowly. This window is not about what happens to you. It is about who is revealed through you. March 17th, 18th, and 19th are not a delivery schedule for blessings. They are a mirror for identity. Think about it. On March 17th, you were not just recognizing signs in the world around you. You were recognizing who you already are. The bush was not the miracle. You turning aside to look, that was the miracle. That is the act of someone who carries the eyes of a seer, someone who perceives what others walk right past. That is who you are. On March 18th, when the ground displaced and the circumstances shifted, that was not just God moving things for your convenience. That was God rearranging your external world to finally match your internal truth. Because you have been living in a context that was too small for the person you have already become, and the displacement is heaven saying, this environment is no longer accurate. Let me fix it. And on March 19th, the confirmation was never about confirming a blessing. It was about confirming a being. you, the full, undiluted, unhidden version of you that has been forming in the wilderness, in the silence, in the waiting. The cost of ignoring this prophetic window is not losing a miracle. It is spending another season not knowing who you are. And I need to tell you who you are, because your spirit needs to hear it spoken out loud. You are a seer. You perceive things that others cannot. You feel the room before anyone speaks. You sense the shift before it arrives. That is not anxiety. That is not overthinking. That is your gift, and the world needs what you see. You are a spiritual warrior. You have held your ground when everyone around you folded. You have carried weight that should have crushed you, and you are still here. That is not stubbornness. That is divine design. You were built to stand where others fall. You are a pioneer. You go first into territory no one has mapped. You walk paths that have no footprints. That is not recklessness. That is your assignment. The ones who come after you will follow the trail you are cutting right now. And you are a truth carrier. You cannot live a lie. You cannot smile when your spirit is screaming. You cannot pretend that something is fine when everything in you knows it is not. That is not inconvenient. That is your most sacred gift. The world is drowning in pretense, and you are one of the few who refuse to participate. These are not things you earn, chosen one. These are things you claim. And this 3-day window, March 17th, 18th, 19th, is the moment you stop waiting for permission and start walking in the fullness of who you have always been. I want you to picture something. You have been driving with a GPS that kept recalculating. Every time you thought you were close, it rerouted. Every time you thought you understood the path, the screen changed. And for a long time, you believed you were lost. You believed the recalculations meant you had taken a wrong turn somewhere and you could not find your way back. But here is the truth. The GPS was never broken, and you were never lost. The destination was always the same. The recalculations were not corrections, they were preparations. And this 3-day window is the moment the screen clears, the route locks in, and you finally see where it has been leading all along. It was leading to you. The fullest, truest, most aligned version of you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified by the years that felt wasted or the doors that closed in your face. What has been forming inside you during every silent season is about to be revealed through you in every season that follows. And these 3 days, this window, is when you stop waiting to become and start being. So let me leave you with this. 3 days, 3 postures. On March 17th, your posture is stillness. Stop, turn aside. Look at what has been burning beside you. Do not rush, do not analyze, just see. On March 18th, your posture is surrender. Open your hands, release the areas you have been gripping. Let God displace what needs to move. Your job is not to push. Your job is to remain. On March 19th, your posture is declaration. Put on the robes, speak who you are, not who you were, not who others told you to be. Who you are right now, fully, out loud, without apology. And after the window closes, remember this. Not everything planted in these 3 days will bloom by the end of the week. Some seeds take weeks, some take months. But the planting happens now. And a seed planted in a Kairos window carries a different weight than a seed planted in ordinary time. Trust the timing of the harvest, even when you cannot see the sprout. I cannot tell you exactly what will manifest, but I can tell you this. The pattern is clear. The window is real, and the identity you step into during these 3 days will define the season that follows. Now, I want to pray with you. And I call this moment what it is. It is an activation, not a request, not a wish, an activation of everything that has been forming in you. God, we come before you not with begging but with gratitude, because you did not wait for us to be perfect before you started building something extraordinary inside us. You have been working in the silence. You have been shaping in the darkness. You have been faithful. In every season we thought you were absent, and we thank you, not for the ease, because there was none, but for the faithfulness, because it never wavered. You see us. You see every prayer that was whispered at 2 in the morning when no one else was awake. You see every tear that fell on a pillow that will never tell the story. You see every moment we chose to keep going when everything in us wanted to stop. You see the faithfulness we showed in small things when the big things had not yet arrived. And we receive your witness over our lives tonight. We are seen, we are known, and we are not forgotten. And now we release. We release old timelines that told us we should have been further by now. Release. We release comparison with people who were never walking our path. Release. We release the belief that we are too late, that the window has already passed, that the best years are behind us. Release. We release the fear that this is another false alarm, another disappointment dressed in hope. Release. We release the identity that was given to us by pain, by trauma, by people who did not have the eyes to see who we really are. Release. We release the ceiling that was placed over our lives by voices that did not carry the authority to limit us. Release. We release the doubt that whispers, "Not me, not now, not ever." Release. It is gone. The old has been laid down, and we will not pick it up again. Now we activate. We activate the seer. Open the eyes that see beyond the surface. We activate the spiritual warrior. Strengthen the spine that does not bend under pressure. We activate the pioneer. Clear the path that has never been walked before. We activate the truth carrier. Loose the voice that will not be silenced by fear. We activate divine connections, the ones that have been held back until this exact window. We activate provision that matches purpose. We activate doors that were locked by disbelief, and we declare them open. And we cover what is rising. We speak protection over every seed planted in this window. What has been activated will not be sabotaged. What has been opened will not be closed. What has been recognized will not be forgotten. Guard this season, God. Guard this rising. What you have begun in these 3 days, let nothing and no one reverse. Now hear this, chosen one. Hear it deep. I am the one who recognized the window. I am the one who surrendered the timeline. I am the one who put on the robes before the feeling arrived. I am the seer. I am the warrior. I am the pioneer. I am the truth carrier. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. And I am ready for everything that comes next. It is done. It is sealed. The window is honored. And we receive everything planted within it. In Jesus' name. Amen. Take a breath, chosen one. Let that settle. You do not need to rush out of this moment. If this window is yours, if what you just heard echoed something your spirit has been carrying, I want you to type 3 words in the comments right now. My window opens. Let the heavens see your declaration in writing. And if you believe these messages matter, if this teaching met you at exactly the right moment, you can help make sure it reaches every chosen one who is still searching. In the pinned comment, there is a link where you can sow a seed into this mission. Not an obligation, a sacred invitation. Every seed planted keeps this light burning for someone who will need it tomorrow night, someone who is standing at their own window right now and does not yet know what to do. You are not just receiving tonight, you are making it possible for someone else to receive too. And that, chosen one, is one of the most sacred things a person can do. One more thing. If someone came to your mind while you were listening, do not ignore that. Send them this message. They may be standing at their own prophetic window, and they do not have the words for what they are feeling yet. But you do. And your act of sharing may be the very thing that helps them turn aside and look. Go in peace, chosen one. March 17th, 18th, 19th. The window is open, your eyes are open, and you you are ready. Until next time.